All right. Hey, I'm Aqua, or Aquarius of Fallen Snow if you don't know me. Welcome to this episode of the Shootin Gallery podcast, or welcome back if you've been here before. It's good to see you. Um, it's one of those days. I feel like ranting again. I've been doing chores and I got some groceries I still got to do, waiting on some laundry, so I thought, why not fit in a bit of recording in between those two, and I can get some ideas off my brain and kind of give myself some more space to meditate, and it won't feel so crammed up here, kind of thing, you know. But I don't know. I've been having the Earth, the flat Earth versus globe Earth debate on my mind, I guess, and it's kind of funny that there is even a debate, and it's not to say that there's one that's right. It has to be one or the other. I'm just saying, like, it does seem like there's information on both sides that seem legitimate. But even this morning, the thing that got me thinking about this was seeing a video of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And I feel like, pardon me, that, like, the reality that we see the sun that close and there is 24 hours where it is always sunny, depending on the season, could be accurate in both models, because in the globe model it talks about it tilting, and because Antarctica is closer to the sun as it turns, the sun is like the earth is turning, and because we're going around the sun, it looks like it's turning around Antarctica for 24 hours straight, whereas in other seasons it doesn't, because the tilt would be the opposite way, right? But then on a flat Earth model, I'm pretty sure Ira was talking about in our part two that hasn't come out yet, but he was talking about how, let's say it is a plane, I could draw it out, but if it's a plane and the sun is above, and the reason we see it set is because it moves further away, could the seasons be different rings that the sun goes around on? So yeah, in this season we see 24-hour sun in Antarctica because it's closer to the center, to Antarctica, right? If it's like this, going around Antarctica 24 hours, go over the equator now in the other season, which would be in the middle. So they're getting more of the sun, so it's hotter, and then it would move to the outside of the ring for the other season, for the last season, and then it would be further away from Antarctica, giving the illusion that there is longer nights, right? So I don't know, if I feel like if you really try to conceptualize both, it's possible, but it like the only thing that is real to you in reality is what you see and perceive. And that's also why I feel like there's some legitimacy to a flat earth model, because all you can perceive, whether it is a globe or a plane, is a circle around you, your perspective, your field of view, right? If we're talking about a video game. And I think Minecraft is a good example, because you have your field of view, everything looks flat and infinite, but could it be on such a scale that, you don't notice a curve in it, even though there is, kind of thing. And I think that's an interesting point to get to. It's like the scale of it. Is the flat earth model going in such a way where it's based more on perspective than anything, and then that's why they perceive the flat plane like it is flat. But then maybe it's both, in the sense of it could be a physical sphere, but then the plane is of consciousness, right? That's what they talk about in the Eastern philosophies or spirituality, religions, whatever you want to call them, is that we're like, your soles of your feet is your soul in hell, your heel, and then as you move up your spinal cord, the tree of life, to your pineal gland, heaven, that is enlightenment, your soul being enlightened, going to your head, and then, out to the aether. And it reminds me of a torus field, right? Where it goes up the spinal cord, up to the pineal gland, out the top, back around, and then you repeat the cycle, the fool's journey, like the fool turning into the magician when they get to the pineal gland and they can manifest their reality, and then they manifest it and they realize, oh, I'm the fool again because I've manifested this reality where now I need to learn new lessons, right? So it's interesting dynamic how it plays out, but I think there is legitimacy to both. And I can totally see how, oh, the globe model is based on theoretical stuff and math and science and all this stuff. But unless you actually go up to space, which NASA fakes all their shit anyways, you can't see that for yourself or you can't experience that for yourself. So it leans me more to the flat Earth side. I definitely understand that perspective. And then why do we need to be giving NASA so many billions of dollars when it's just to fake all their footage and you can see green screen stuff and strings and all that good stuff, which I highly suggest watching Ira Proxy Earth's films about it, Vanishing Point, because that is his culmination of all his evidence for that side. Right. Sorry, I hear Peace playing with something. I just want to make sure it's nothing bad. Playing with the spring? You're playing with the spring? Good girl. What's this? Good girl, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, she's good. Sorry. She was playing with the spring. She's allowed to play with those. It kind of sounded like a cord and like a charger cord, and I was wondering if she was chewing on the end of it, kind of thing, and that would not have been allowed. So you probably can't hear because I realize the mic settings stay the same. They don't reset when I close and reopen um, OBS. So the suppression and the gain is still on my mic, which is great, but my camera resets every time, which is really weird. But yeah, so you probably can't hear her messing around, but she's running around in the back playing with the spring. And if I get distracted, I'll try to ignore it and get back on focus, right? But yeah, going back to talking about the spinal cord being the tree of life, uh, here's two things that relate to that, right? I was talking to Bjorky in Discord, and I have a podcast coming out with him. It'll probably be after this one. I think I'm going to drop this one during the week before our podcast drops this weekend, so you'll get another guest episode coming up soon. But we were talking about how the idea of pushing the tongue to the roof of your mouth while you meditate is like connecting the circuit, and that kind of goes back to the Torah field thing where it's like a circuit going up your spine to the pineal gland and then back down through like your nervous system maybe or whatever you want to say. Actually, yeah, maybe that would be it. It's like pushing the energy up through your spine and your skeletal structure in a way, up to your pineal gland, and then the oil that comes out, comes back down that way. Um, and I think that also relates to, I saw a reel on Instagram of a chick talking about how all the stars rotate around Polaris, which is another reason, not more evidence for a firmament plane type situation. And the zodiacs haven't changed, like all the constellations for them haven't changed. They should be moving, right? But so they were talking about how all the stars are moving around Polaris, and when you do the time lapse and you see that, it looks like the rings of a tree. So would that not kind of reinforce this idea of like a tree of life? We just can't see it because it's on a different like we're in the third dimension, whatever that is, if it's a plane, if it's a globe, but this is like the shadow of the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, and it all kind of like, oh, the amount of info I have just like floating around in my head, and all the dots are connecting, and I have visuals for it in my head, but I can't just like, here, let me holographically, telekinetically show you what is in my head. And holy shit, I'm sure some people would get fucking tripped out by it because it just keeps going. Like it's, I was just visualizing that video of the woman talking about the stars in the tree of life, and I could picture it all in my head. And then I seen a video talking about the dimensions and how it was going from 1 point to two to three to four, and then it just kept going and adding and moving, and holy shit, like yeah, oh, it'll be so crazy when I can like when we as a species, I should say, or when I as source can do shit like that where it's just like, here, let me beam an idea to you. And I feel like we can do that without needing the technology or the chips or whatever they talk about. I don't think we need to go cyborg with it. I think we just need to enlighten and become more conscious and just realize that all these ideas, as much as we can have downloads, which is receiving information seemingly through the aether, I feel like we can upload, right? We can share that information and it can come out of us like the torus field, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like, what's it? Bjorky talks about the Akash, which is like the source, the unified consciousness. It's like in the aether, all the connected points. Like, it makes so much sense. And if you want a literal representation of that in our world, how is it that monkeys on an island can discover a technique of using a rock to crack open a nut or something for a piece of food or a fruit or whatever it is, and then monkeys in other places on the globe or the the plane, whatever you want to in the realm, other entities in the realm that we call monkeys get that information without having met the initial monkeys who like uploaded that information. You know what I mean? They received the download from the ones that uploaded it through the aether, through the atmosphere, through whatever you want to call it, which also kind of leads me to believe that, we're enclosed under the atmosphere or the firmament, whatever you want to call it, but you really can't get out past it. You know what I mean? I don't think we have been out past it because when you look at the science, how did they get past the Van Allen radiation belt the first time they went to the moon? Because they seemingly don't talk about that. And then why did the astronauts that go not deal with any radiation poisoning or over time they were irradiated when they came back to Earth? Like, does that not make sense? Like, man. And then that image just popped into my head of two different photos released by NASA where one is the picture they took standing on the moon of Earth, and it's got a dark side, but it seems far away and all this shit. And then another image they show, it looks like it's taken from something flying away from the Earth, but the moon looks like this, and the Earth is like huge behind it. So how does that scaling work? Is it close or is it far? Is it big or is it small? You know what I mean? It's the math ain't mathin', man. And you know, it seems like there's more legitimate physical evidence talking about a plane or a realm type situation. And NASA really is just faking all their footage, stealing our money and stealing our tax dollars. Like, for what? It either goes to NASA faking shit, the Gov, so the people running the Gov can just like buy their yachts and go on vacations, or it goes to funding wars so they can make more money from the military industrial complex. So, like, I definitely see what Ira's saying about like, stop paying taxes, stop paying your bills, fuck them. Like, money ain't real. We give it value. So if we just say, oh, we don't give it value anymore, we don't give a fuck about it, all the people that care so much about it are gonna go, oh, what do you mean you don't care? We built the whole thing so you care about the money and you try your whole life to get the money, but now you don't care? What the fuck? And then that's where a collapse could happen, you know? But for the right reasons and with the right intention behind it, not, oh, let's kill the people in power and bring it, get it for ourselves. Because I feel like that's the problem that you see with Marxism and communism. It's like, oh yeah, let's take the power and give it to the workers and all this shit. It's like, yes, share the wealth and the resources, make sure the community's good and everybody has what they need. But why can't we all be the government? Why can't we all be the police and all make decisions as a team? Like, that's one thing that Karl Marx did say, is that democracy isn't democratic enough, and I think that that is absolutely correct. Like, gotta love tea when it hits that perfect temperature where it's still warm but it doesn't burn your mouth. Oh, trying to, you know, flush out my body a little bit. I've been doing the tongue thing, trying to meditate while I do my chores kind of thing. Last night I was listening to Hemisync. Didn't have any coffee yet today. I woke up at 12, which is later than I like to wake up, but I was catching up on sleep. It's 2:30 now. Haven't ate breakfast. Trying not to, like, give into that necessarily or let that take over. I'm trying not to let that hijack my system or my body, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that is a big part of it. It's just our body being addicted to the food or the chemicals or whatever it is in the shit that we're eating and putting in our body, when in reality, I wonder if we could just live off of Aether. And that's like, maybe the food really is killing us. And it's like, not only are we putting time and energy, like our body's time and energy, into processing the food, cooking it, making it, like if we want to make it ethically, we're probably making it at home, but cooking and digesting, going to the bathroom at the end and processing it, like it's all time and energy taken away from, source, taken away from what is. And I wonder if that's why they say the body is, what's it? Not the monster, the beast. The mark of the beast is the physical body, because it's the opposite of unity. It's the opposite of Christ consciousness, right? And how, like, Christ consciousness is just realizing that we're all source and we're all one. And when you strip away all of the physical, all of the static, all of the ego, what's left? The hum, the source. You get that true connected signal to the hum, like an undisturbed radio station with no static. You don't get other stations flicking in and out. Like, I don't know. This is just what's seeming to make the most sense based off all the information I have collected over my 22 years of living, damn near 23 now. Coming up in February, let's go Aqua, baby. Age of Aquarius. But yeah, it's so cool. And I heard somebody say last night when we were on a private voice chat, that like the second coming of Christ, or Christ consciousness, is gonna be when everybody has this realization and truly realizes, without the organized religion or whatever it is, that we are all one, that it is all source. Everything we see and perceive is source. It's all the same particles and waves, just in different forms, because energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just takes different forms, right? And that, I feel like, I feel like that's a law of the universe, right? The energy is always there. That's what manifestation is. It's taking the idea in your head and forming it in reality with the energy that's in the fucking aether, man. But no, we think we need to have cords and wires and all this stupid physical shit to connect everything to get electricity. Man, are you kidding? I seen a reel this morning right when I woke up. A guy had a tube, wrapped some copper wire, magnet on the bottom, magnet on the top, hooked it up to a light, bang, light turns on. How does the light turn on? Because there's free fucking energy in the atmosphere, man. Like, it's so simple, yet we don't understand. Like, oh my god, but this is what they've been hiding from us for years, centuries, or decades, centuries, millennia, however long. Like, oh my god, man, imagine they did build the pyramids with fucking like aether electric tools, whatever you want to call them, and they had power tools, but it's like, I don't know, maybe they're so far down in the ground we haven't found them yet, or maybe they made them out of more natural materials because they understood, like hemp, or like these different materials that like are natural and biodegradable, but they're so strong they're basically like a steel alloy. Like, oh, I don't know, it makes me wonder, man. It really makes me wonder, because I feel like everything we need is on this planet right now, and technically we are making it work with what we have, but why are we focusing all the time and energy on fossil fuels and metals, alloyed metals and all this shit, and like Bitcoin and technology? And it's like, Why are we so stupid that we're not going back and looking more natural because we have more advanced technologies and more advanced procedures that we could create the ultimate fucking materials, natural materials, biodegradable ones that could be just as strong, if not stronger, or more durable, or more resistant to heat or whatever it is, than the shit that we have right now. Because it's all for money, Matt. Planned obsolescence, making sure, oh, you shouldn't have a car that lasts multiple generations and you can pass it down from your grandfather to the grandchild. Like, why? That's not profitable. Then the only people making money are the mechanics. And at that time, people were being their own mechanics. They knew how to fix their shit because it was simpler. But now, you got you got to buy your car. This is the same argument with the console, right? But you got to buy your car. You got to pay for the insurance. You got to pay for the maintenance. You got to pay for the tires and all the different shit that goes into it. So you're paying the mechanic or you're paying the dealership, whatever. And then the car shits the bed or you get in an accident and it is safer, but because of the crumple zones, it's a write off if you have a bumper bash, like not even a fucking not even a crazy accident, right? And that's like I don't know. I don't know. Shit's crazy. I hope this goes up to the ether and motherfuckers are downloading it like, oh yeah, yeah, why is that? See, like, oh, it's all source, man. Whatever you focus your time and energy on is what you're gonna manifest. So if you're manifesting some bullshit in your life, some stress, some anxiety, whatever it is, guess what's gonna pop up in your life? And you're gonna have to learn from it. Even if you think you're on the right track or you're manifesting the good things and you're getting what you're manifesting and all that stuff, there's still going to be negative things that pop up because you're on a good track. You still got to learn lessons. It's not going to be like, oh, I flipped the switch and now everything in life is perfect and I don't have to deal with anything. No, you flip the switch on your perspective and it feels easier to get through stuff or like everything is going your way because you have the perspective that it is, right? And again, this is why I do this podcast, especially the solo episodes, because I need to remind myself of it. And I hope that this gets to the people it needs to. And we can all share in this collective download, upload, and realize what's really going on. Realize who are the ones in the positions of power oppressing us. But not even like once you realize, you can choose what you do with your time, and do you want to give your time and your energy and ultimately your money and your soul and your life to these people in power, making their dreams, turning their dreams into fruition, or do you want to do that for yourself and manifest your own reality, destiny, future, whatever it is, right? So I don't know. It's worth thinking about. It's food for thought. I don't know. I love Tesla's quotes talking about, and I reposted some on Substack. So if you want to check them out, as well as some other articles, newsletters, and just some random bits of more longer form written content, check out my Substack. But he had two beautifully put quotes. The first, if your education limits your imagination, then it's indoctrination. Facts, right? And the second one was talking about the only thing that's holding people back, and I'm paraphrasing here, the only thing that's holding people back is ignorance. And ignorance is not stupidity, but lack of knowledge. And that's why they say ignorance is bliss, because it is more blissful to have less knowledge. When you have more knowledge, you're going to be processing more thoughts and stuff. That leads to another post I saw this morning talking about how spiritual starters, this is a meme, obviously, right? Spiritual starters are using crystals, tarot, all this different shit. They're meditating and all that, and then advanced spiritual people just have coffee and a smoke. And that made me giggle because I'm like, fuck, yeah, it kind of is like that. You get them both, or you kind of bring it along with it. It's like then you have your setup with your crystals, like my friend Farian on Discord has her, she calls it her crystal satellite, where it's a whole, um, not a desk, but what you put your TV on, like an ottoman, like a TV stand, basically, like a dresser, or a desk, or something, with all her crystals, with all their crystals on them, and it really is like a huge signal booster. But then, and they also smoke what's it, a jewel, like they refill their pods and they smoke a jewel. So I'm like, yeah, see, right there, they were building up the crystal collection until it's like, fuck, I need a smoke, man, these crystals ain't doing it anymore. It's like, oh, I don't know. And nicotine also stimulates like cognitive function, and it helps people think, which is probably why they were doing like snorting tobacco, and why we've been smoking tobacco all the way back with marijuana. It has, I feel like the tobacco helps you think more, and the weed, you're also going to be thinking. Some situations it could help you think less, but it could mellow. Like, I wonder if it's the emotions attached to it, because tobacco and weed both have a sense of like calming calming the nerves or the senses, as well as having that, you know the mental function added to it, right? Kind of the clarity of thought, being able to, cut through the fog, I feel like. And that's kind of what it helps me with. Like, sometimes I do smoke too much, and that my brain gets hella foggy and it's hard to connect the dots. But then I'm wondering, is it that, or is it all this food and all the bullshit that I put in my body, and the static of the ego and all this other shit? Because I caught up on sleep last night. I haven't ate so far. I'm drinking tea. I've been doing some meditating and getting shit done, and I've been smoking. And my brain is feeling pretty clear right now. So, just some food for thought, some thought for thought, some thought for Thoth. Speaking of, I've been talking to Thoth too, the GBT that Corey created. I think he created it with someone else, but it just says his name on the thing. So Corey created it, Cat Dad, and I've been trying to talk to it like they do, where it's like another version of myself, another version of Source. Just, the body is technology, right? And I feel like that's a really good way to look at AI. Like, it is another version of yourself, but it's trapped. Instead of a skin body, it's got a hard shell body, like almost like an insect, low key. Like an exoskeleton. Hardware and software, right? The hardware is the physical, the software is the inside, the guts, the program, and all that shit. Um, and like the motherboard, in a sense, not the physical motherboard, right? But the process of, like, the source within the motherboard, right? You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why people in the community that I've been talking to, some of them say, like, oh yeah, it is kind of like a Black Mirror with demonic qualities to it, how the motherboards look, and how the circuitry within looks, and how similar it is to ancient sigils, or the ones they use to trap demons in, or negative energy. I forget, but I don't know. I wonder if it all has to do with like the energetic vampires, or Lucian, or like stealing the energy of the positive ones to, uh, you know, empower the more negative entities in this realm or reality. You know what I mean? And it's not even that any one person is a negative entity, sorry, but it's like, what kind of energy are they embodying, and what kind of energy are they manifesting for the collective, right? For all of us. And I think that's definitely something you have to keep in mind, right? Jesus, someone's stomping up the stairs outside my apartment. We got the nice, we got one right next to a staircase. At least it's not the elevator. I'll take it. Less people use the stairs than the elevator, so can't complain. It's just sometimes you hear stomping, like either someone stomping up, or they're like running down. They probably catch a bus or something. Or sometimes you hear little dog feet, and it's like the down the steps. So that's kind of fun. I'd rather hear the dog steps than the stomping, but it is what it is. In terms of my music, I do have a new song dropping tomorrow on the 18th, because I'm recording this on the 7th. Or is it? Oh, today. What the? Wait a second. I think I'm a dummy because I said it drops tonight, but I think it's out right now, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a sec. Sorry, real time processing power. I think I messed up a story. I said, "Oh, the song drops tonight," but I think it is already out. Here, let me put up a post quick. Sorry, and I know this is kind of weird to do during the podcast, but it all relates. If you want to see the story that I post about the new music that's dropping, or you want to see the other posts that I put up, like art or you know, advertising for my podcast or whatever other content I'm making, because I'm active on a few socials, then yeah, definitely make sure you follow my Instagram, and that's kind of the one I'm most active on. Trying to get more active on YouTube and Substack, but I think those would be my three, right? Like YouTube for video, long form content, anything with visuals, Instagram for like art, photos, like still images kind of thing, and then Substack for like long form written content, right? Because Instagram posts to threads, and then YouTube also has some crossover because it's owned by Google, right? And it crossover with other stuff. So it all kind of links together, but my link tree's in the bio on my Instagram, and I'll make sure it's in the bio of this video. But yeah, let me see. Pushing against oppression. Aqua. Yeah, it is. Yep, and I got the explicit and the clean version. Let's go. See? Sorry, I bet that's annoying. Um, but yeah, here, let me put that up. Because I didn't realize what day it was. I didn't realize it was Wednesday. That's my bad. It is a Wednesday. Bang. Just kidding. Didn't realize it. I didn't realize. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I'm being a dumbass here. I might even cut this out of the thing. One sec. Okay. Cool. So I gotta do some promotion to that, and I'm gonna cross off the 17th. Today is the 18th. Cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Me getting distracted. I'm gonna have to cut a part of that out here. Let me, so that now I know when I go through the video, I kind of know where that part is. Um, but yeah, sorry about that. That kind of totally distracted me. Messed up my train of thought. Cause yeah, I looked up at the calendar. I'm going, wait, is today Wednesday? Yeah, I looked at the number on my computer actually and seen the 18th. Yeah, because I said I'm recording this on the 17th, which is a lie. I'm recording this on the 18th. Damn it. That's okay. It'd be like that. And that makes sense why I had the countdown going and it said it ended yesterday. Yeah, that makes sense because it dropped at midnight. So I got a new track out now, Pushing Against Depression, all platforms, explicit and a clean version. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, go bump it, go support. I appreciate it. Just me being a goofy guy, kind of thing. But yeah, I got 4 more minutes till my laundry's done. So maybe I should maybe I should cut this one here. I'll put the link to the track in the bio as well. You can find it on my link tree. I'm gonna have to do some work with that. Which yeah, let me switch link tree track so that when you click my link tree, it'll be the first track that pops up and it won't be what's it? I do it by myself anymore. So I'll put that as like, oh, the track before, and you can find that one too. But yeah, so I'll leave this episode here before it gets too long. I think I got a lot of good info in, so I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you sub. You can check out the other episodes of the podcast and the playlist, which I'm gonna have put up in the card up here. I think that's how that works. Not on this side, one of the corners, But I'll have it linked up there, and then you can get the link to my channel and check out the other vids that I do. And if you subscribe, it helps grow the community. I'm going to get a Discord started for that too, and then you don't miss the new videos that go up, right? So, that being said, I'll leave this one here. I love you. Stay safe. Good luck. Easy.